we look for where we are going in America now, and to them, I just have reflect on it and I say, I don't really know why people would have want. Well, we kind of know why people that want to run go America still. But believe you me, at this given time, the other man grass look like it want weed out. Because you know, say the other man grass always look green until you go over there, you realize you appear bush. And then now you start to feel away. So I don't know, all who never did a runway already, I don't think say it make no sense you run away again. You have to just stay and struggle it out. Or if you want to go Africa, you better go Africa. Because you see the America thing they know, the problem with it, you know, is that if you take, you know, them say you have to take sleep and mark that. If you look at history, because history they fit guide, you know. History not just something you just study and left it gone, you know. History is what make we there at this juncture right now. History. The reason why we are here right now is because of history. So history is not something we're gone. You know, see, history not gone. As we speak, history is being made. Now, if we take sleep and mark that, we'd have realized America wasn't the only superpower that you had in history. European superpower. When we say European superpower, we are quite aware that America is not for Europe, but it's Europeans control it right now. But if we look at the history of a place named Greece, and we see the turmoil right now, we take all of Greece in terms of the monetary system and them IMF problems and all them things there. One would have never know, say, Greece was once like America in the world. Because the language, just like how you have the English language, in what we call now, is the main language of the Western world. There was a time when Greek was the main language of the Western world. As a matter of fact, most of the, well, all of, not even most, all of the Bible, New Testament, what them call New Testament, and part of the so-called Old Testament was first written in Greek. Greek was the language that was spoken widely by the educated. Serious thing. So Greek reached a stage where Greek fall. And Rome come and dominate the whole thing. And for those of you who study and read, you should go and read a book named, or even listen to the audio book. I would prefer to listen to the audio book still, namely Fall of the Roman Empire. The fall of the Roman Empire, how Rome dominated the Western world, and then it became like a sad state of affair. Rome. And then you have England, Great Britain, them call it. And Great Britain, the English spread themselves into the Americas, as they are called, the America, because where we live now is the Americas, you know. Yeah, it's not the United States of America, but it is the Americas. And the British went into the so-called America, we now call United States of America, and devastate the land, slaughter the so-called Native American on Turtle Island, and take it over. And then a set of white people come and push back the British, the Protestants. You know, the Protestants, them are run from religious persecution and end up in America too. And then you have the Pilgrims. And you have the war between the British. Well, it's white people that kill white people, but them don't want to make it look that way there. And them chase the British away and have autonomy to lead themselves and break away from England and call themselves Republic. And then now you have the United States of America. But why we are telling you that is to tell you, say, empires come and empires go. And even though it look that way, because we in the present day, it might not look like anything can happen based upon how America set themselves, media-wise, culture-wise, and dominant-wise. It doesn't look like America will be there forever. And you hear Obama talk, and you hear the other white people them talk, and it make it sound like America is the greatest country on earth. You know, actors sit down on the television and they never tell them America is the greatest country on earth. The only reason why I can't play that, and you know, so I go and edit it. The only reason why I don't play that thing then is because the brother talk some language on it. But the brother show him is America, and he must say America is a great country on earth. And he started to show them all the different aspects. Social, political, economical, and show them say, who say America is the greatest country on earth? But that is something where them keep pushing inside of you to make you sip it. And then them tell you, out of many, one. Out of many, one is not a Jamaican slogan, you know. It was taken from America. Out of many, one. That was something from America. I don't know how these people who farm up the so-called independence thing come with this out of many, one people, like say, them original. It's a cover version of American motto. So now we look at America now and we say we are going politically. And we see them are try fight terrorism. And we are trying to find out which part of terrorism there. Because now we see them say Al-Qaeda is showing its head again in Pakistan and in Afghanistan. This is a place where them run out the Al-Qaeda people, them and the Taliban. And now the Taliban, them seem to be dominating and taking over a large portion of Afghanistan. Again, it's a terrible thing for the Americans. So we don't know how it's going to pan out this, but we know, say, you push a dog around for so long, one day that dog will turn and bite you. And right now, it would appear the saying that, oh, are the mighty fallen in battle. Oh, are the mighty fallen. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Animal Farm book, literature, where we learn in our school. So we really take sleep and mark that. And we are say, it might look away now, even when we talk. People might say we love talk about Africa, so I know see people this and black people can't unite and black people can't do this. It's foolishness. Because me when I read that talk about black people can't unite and nothing like what. White people is heading for Africa, Chinese is heading for Africa. And we give up Africa. Well, not we, but a lot of Jamaican people don't want you tell them not about Africa. Because them say, where you want to go Africa for? You know, see people that kill people in Africa. Them not see the killing we are going in as Syria, you know. Say brown man I kill brown man. Them not say that, you know. Them not say, oh, white people that kill white people in Europe. Them not say them thing there, you know. But black people, them say, black people can't unite, you know. Black people don't fight against black people, so. The biggest war them in the world was fought between white people and white people. World War I, World War II. When the French and the English used to fight on the seas, when them have days of pirates. It's that the black people did involve in them pirate ship there, you know. It's British and French ships, Portuguese ship. White people kill white people more than how black people kill black people. This is a truth. It might look that way then now, because we live in this era. But if you look on the millions of people were killed in World War II and World War I, and it was Russia, Italy, France, Germany, England, all of these countries, Europe, and them say it's a world war, you know. Terrible thing that, you know. When Europe killing Europeans is a world war, you know. I saw them do it. When Africans are kill Africa, it's a tribal war. Tribal war sound more vicious and savage. More like, you know, people. Like you have tribal rather than nation. Tribal sound like it's not organized and structured. So you have the tribes of Africa, but you have the nations of Europe. So when the nations of Europe kill off the nations of Europe, you don't call it tribal war. When the English was bombing Germany, and when Germany was enslaving white people in Europe, them not call it tribal war. It's a terrible thing. The imagery that is presented to us, it would appear that as some savages in Africa and some structured people in Europe, Europeans kill Europeans in history. When you look on history, historically, Europeans have killed Europeans long time. And when I put, like say, African killing is not terrible, but you know what I say, the way it is sold to us, you never did know, say, if you never study all World War II, you now look on it like it's tribalism in Europe. The only place tribal war fight is in Africa. Terrible thing. Africa, they're on the cusp of a renaissance. It's like a renaissance happening in Africa. But we now really get it out here so fully because the media is not geared towards Africa. If you notice, you hear man talk about American music. American music is not world music. I mean, one would love to be on the Billboard charts because they make a music and it's a pop music, but you have more people in Africa than in America. One country alone, I mean, Nigeria have 170 million people. That is more than half of the population of America, the United States of America. The population of the United States of America is 300 and little bit. 300 million people. Nigeria alone have more than half of the population of America. And when you say a million records in Nigeria, it's like you don't ever go up on the charts. It's a terrible thing. But we don't look towards that. There are more movies being made in Nigeria than in Hollywood. Not to mention all India. There's more movies made in India and Nigeria than in Hollywood. But the only time we see some little thing about Nigeria is the little soap opera them up on television. And the funniest thing, you know, I see the people them start watch are the Indian soap opera them and the Nigerian, the African soap opera them on the TV. You have people now can't left it out because it looks so different to them. You know, see it, and it almost like it connects to them too. The same Indian soap opera them will say everybody are rush because see middle night, bright day. All help them stop doing them and go and go watch it. Same way with the little South African soap opera them, Nigerian soap opera them. Would I never believe, say, these, what you call, entities, is so big and large in Africa because Africa seem to be on the back burner of news report unless it's something happen there. If you say, boy, you want to say, in a Rwanda or in a Uganda or in a Sierra Leone, disease flood out the place. How come all of a sudden you know nothing more about Ebola again? Not one drop, not at a iota about Ebola. The other day, a pure Ebola is like Ebola will reach a Jamaica and kill off Jamaican people. Only better than Africa. Most of them damn fool is about Africa. See the Ebola, this and that. We go right, hey, watch out. Oh, man, I tell you, boy, them terrible, you know. Them terrible. There's something that is happening right now. I mean, I tell the people them this. There's something that is happening right now as it relates to Africa that we is missing. Just like how you know talk about Jamaica missed the boat and come on to the ganja thing. That is the least to where we are missed when it come on to the Africa thing. Because everybody know We talk about fashion. Hey, me see some people that wear a cloth, you know, them in a Ghana, them call it Angelina. There was a time when I go on the tourist market, when you come down the North Coast there, it's on the tourists used to buy them kind of dashiki color cloth. Every Indian store you're going to see this dashiki cloth. The dashiki them, and tourists love buy them. Now, the other day we got, me and Tony go to Ghana, every youth, and we are talk about, if you want to talk about Uptown youth, them there them party, I got them a van. And when me look, me I say, but wait, it's a thing. And my lady said, look here, you said that you go back into Africa, we want you to get some of that cloth because that is the next big thing. Now me see everybody in it, Angelina. By years and years in Africa, they and come forward there, and say, all right. When you look on the screen, you know, when you look on certain magazine and look on your internet, you know, with fashion design, them a draw from Africa. The fashion and the culture, it a draw from Africa. More and more and more. And it a seep in subtly, it a get involved with the Western mindset. And then not to mention now the Rasta vibration. Because big international, according to what I am told and what I am seeing now, people like Tamil figure now get into the act of the red, gold and green. You know, see, them have a line of clothes now where those Rasta looking colors and all these things. I mean, I understand how we love miss boat. So the only boat you never miss is the slave ship. Look like someone we anxious for stay upon the same slave ship so much. It's a terrible thing. Terrible, terrible thing. So we have to lose the chains from off our foot and lose the chains from off our brains. But the worst chain is when it's upon your brain, you know, because sometimes you can't see the chain upon your brain. When our ancestors saw the chain on them foot, them could have take chisel and lick it off and run away. Underground, railway, railroad. Now, the chain upon our brain, and when we see it as no chain, we get complacent. So, we want to turn to African fundamentalism. Fellow men of the Negro race, greetings. These are the words of Marcus Garvey. The time has come, and I'm going to use the same word where Marcus Garvey used Negro, and I'm going to change what I'm saying. The time has come for the Negro to forget and cast behind him his hero worship and adoration of other races, and to start our immediately to create and emulate heroes of his own. We must canonize our own saints, create our own martyrs, and elevate to positions of fame and honor black men and women who have made their distinct contributions to our racial history. Sojourner Truth is worthy of the place of sainthood. See, just like how them have Joan of Arc, Crispus Attucks, and George William Gordon are entitled to the halo of martyrdom with no less glory than that of the martyrs of any other race. Twice and overture, brilliancy as a soldier and statesman are outshone that of Cromwell, Napoleon and Washington. Hence he is entitled to the highest place as a hero among men. Africa has produced countless numbers of men and women in war and in peace, whose luster and bravery outshine that of any other people. Then why not see good and perfection in ourselves? Marcus Mosiah Garvey pleading to black people, take down the white Jesus off of your, hey, you know, in the 90s, you know, when Mr. Young did there. I don't remember, I think Cabo did Ghana, Africa, and she asked me for sitting on the program. Sunday morning, me up on the radio, and me I say, I want to take down the white Jesus off on the wall. I better put up Bob Marley on the wall. Right, it out, if I say that. The amount of phone call Mr. Young get. The amount of phone call Mr. Young get. So you have to know. We idolize. One of the things them why we saw way back is because we keep idolizing other people. And most of the time when we idolize other people, is the people them who did oppress we. From them time there until now, and still are oppressed we. We idolize them. That's a serious thing. We must inspire a literature and promulgate a doctrine of our own without any apology to the powers that be. I can read it again, you know. It's Marcus Garvey words we are reading now. We must inspire a literature and promulgate a doctrine of our own without any apology to the powers that be. The right is ours and God's. Let contrary sentiment and cross opinions go to the winds. Opposition to race independence is the weapon of the enemy to defeat the hopes of an unfortunate people. We are entitled to our own opinions and not obligated to or bound by the opinion of others. I think Marcus Garvey is. So you know, you see the freedom opinion now, we always say them logics, where we always are use to define ourselves. It's like beauty. The logics of beauty is embedded in us to say that it have to look like a European way to say it beautiful. You understand? So when we look at some magazine, we show us some African and them put a disc in their mouth to stretch it. And in other nation there, the woman them love it. And the man them, the woman, in Ethiopia, them have disc where them put it on them ears and make them ears, the ears all so big that them keep putting disc in it. The more it stretch, the bigger the disc them put in it in Ethiopia. And them stretch it and stretch it and stretch it. You have people who do things with them skin. In Africa, the woman them do things with them, all sort of thing. And people from the West here see that kind of terrible. White people go there, take pictures of it, and make magazine and books. The aesthetics of Africa and all these things. We know, we look on television, see Kim Kardashian. How the hell we get that way there? I mean, we look at Kim Kardashian to decide how we must look. We are look on television, where most of the television is geared towards them culture, for them idea and perception of beauty. And we as black people are look on that and decide, say, our woman no look good because she don't look like the white woman with them on television. I guess I know. Most of the white woman them not try look like black woman. You know, so the madness. Them have put things in their lip to make it look bigger, thicker. And them have put things in them bottom now to make it look like the South African them woman. Meanwhile, we see, you say if them not use thick lip as a beauty, we not see our lip as beauty. You see, if them not say cock out bottom a beauty, we not say cock out bottom a beauty. Just like how them now make we start wear tear up clothes. How the hell black people who never used to walk up and down in a tear up clothes. Tear up clothes become a fashion now. Jeans become, tear up jeans become a fashion. White people make black people wear tear up clothes on the road as a fashion. And we have so much of that in our closet and we never yet want to walk out of the road. You know the problem, you know the thing with it now? The thing with it, you know. Just like all the bleaching thing. White people make we bleach because white people don't make we bleach. It's we are look on white people and feel say the beauty of white people and them complexion come from the clearness of them skin. So we now start to do that too. We using their logics and feed them opinion of themselves, rub off to we, that we know, start to misrepresent ourselves. So when we see our black woman, That's why sometimes I love some ghetto man how them go out, believe you me, even though they brawling, you know. Sometimes some ghetto man have some clothes and them belly gone out, so, them, and really and truly, the only reason why they don't look good at you, the clothes them have on, you know. I know that them not look good, you know. I know because them big and fat and them belly big, why them not look good, you know. It's because the clothes them have on don't fit how them look. And them can get clothes to fit how them look and look beautiful. But them in some European clothes, some little cheap clothes where it's supposed to be America, but it's made in China because it's cheaper. Look like some clothes were supposed to, like some Christian Dior or Tamil figure clothes, and the real thing. And the woman them belly gone out there so in this clothes where a white people supposed to have on, but them not recognize it. Look here, only don't look good tonight. When Kim Kardashian have it on, she look good tonight. Only don't look good tonight because it's not clothes for no. Simple. We don't allow ourselves to love ourselves. We allow other people to decide how we must look. So if white people say, tear up clothes today, everybody not tear up clothes. If white people put color in them ear, we go buy wig with the color in our ear. We don't have the ear, you know. Just like how them have black people, I use hot comb and I press down them ear to get out the king coat height. That is what you call defining yourself to a next person's eyes. That is a psychological madness. One of the things I observe too, when I talk about the world, when black people, when white people are kill white people in Europe, them says a world war. Now, the arrogance of them is that America have a thing them the World Series and only them involved in it.
Yes, true. World champion.
They them have a World Series, World Championship, world, you know.
Yeah.
And it's only America alone in it, you know. You can't see how them use the idea, their ideas, to manipulate the world. Because when them get you involved in these ideas, if you go outside it, it come like you don't have no sense. Like if you question, is a World Series and only America alone in the World Series? Say, is a world war and it's them that fight on that. It's not a world war that. Them get other people involved for them war. And most of the war with them was fighting in Africa. It's them cause the fight, start the war in Africa, and run when I say, me never touch him. Look where Leopold do in the Congo. Look what Leopold do in the Congo. Look what the French them do in Rwanda. And if white people now, if black people start to react to those things, you say, boy, them savage and wicked and cruel. Look what them are doing, look what them are doing. But the problem with black people is that black people learn to kill black people. Black people learn to kill black people. And them teach, them lesson is start very well in them school. So all when them pull back, when the white supremacists them pull back, you know, that philosophy still linger in our so-called leaders' intention. Because the book when them read is of European ways and European logics. Just like how when them read the Bible come with a certain European logics. And you have seminaries and you have theological college that people go to for justify the European logics of spirituality, of religion. That you know must go to a theological college to explain why is it that the Bible is inspired by some invisible force and not human being. And we take it that way. And you You can't put it to a normal black person, say. But you know, she say it's something them instill in our way to make we actually believe that. And I say, Muta, what you talk about? That's where you get them foolishness from. It's a terrible thing. The world today is indebted to us for the benefits of civilization. They stole our arts and science from Africa. Then why should we be ashamed of ourselves? Their modern improvements are but duplicate of a grander civilization that we reflected thousands of years ago, without the advantage of what is buried and still isn't to be restructured and reintroduced by the intelligence of our generation and our prosperity. Why should we be discouraged because somebody laugh at us today? Who to tell what tomorrow will bring forth? Did they not laugh at Moses, Christ, and Muhammad? Was there not a Carthage, Greece, and Rome? We see and have changes every day. So pray, work, be steadfast, and be not dismayed. Marcus Garvey, let no voice, and this is very important, let no voice but your own speak to you from the depths. Let no influence but your own cause you in time of peace and time of war. Hear all, but attend only to that which concerns you. So can we read that again? Let no influence but your own raise you in time of peace and time of war. Hear all, but attend only to that which concerns you. Your first intelligence shall be to your God. Your first intelligence shall to be your first allegiance, shall be to your God. Most of us don't have a God that we can't say it's our God, you know. Because the God we pray to was fashioned and designed by the same man who enslaved you. Your first allegiance shall be to your God, then to your family, race, and country. Remember always that the Jew in his political and economical urge is always first a Jew. I can read that again. Remember always that the Jew in his political and economic urge is always first a Jew. The white man is first a white man under all circumstances. And you can do no less than being first and always an African. And then all else will take care of itself. Let no one inoculate you for their own conveniences. There's no humanity before that which starts with yourself. Charity begins at home. First to thyself be true, and thou canst not then be false to any man. There's no humanity before that which starts with yourself. Charity begins at home. First to thyself be true, and thou canst not then be false to any man. May I tell you, Marcus Garvey, the first national hero of Jamaica, our first national hero. And when we read this, we read it with a passion, because we know say a whole heap of people. Last week, the version called and I said somebody right now, people say Marcus Garvey is a racist. Now, a week before, said Marcus Garvey a racist. And we realize black people especially don't understand the difference between being a racist and being racial. And we go through that definition already for show you racism and the philosophy that all one race superior, which is racism, and how if you don't have the power to decide a man's political, social, cultural well-being, if you don't have the power to decide that, then racism don't come into the argument. The only real racism come into the argument if because you look upon me as a black person and you white and you don't like me, and when you don't like me because me black, you now use the powers that you have to suppress and oppress me because my color different from you. That is racism. And if I say something racial, it don't mean that I'm a racist. We have to keep saying this thing over and over, you know, because it's terrible. And Marcus Garvey said too, you know, Marcus Garvey said, why am I keep on saying the same thing over and over to black people? And then realize the propaganda is a serious thing. Because you keep saying something, sometimes they will get it. We are say racial and racism is not the same thing. When Marcus Garvey said he is racially inclined, it don't mean him is a racist. Racism comes with power. Black people as a group don't have the power to decide white people economical, social, and political order. We do have that power. And we're not going to go, white people, black people don't have even the innate mindset to use power economically, socially, and politically, and religiously over a next group of people, because history don't show that. And we have to take sleep and mark that. History don't show we say black people rise up against a next group of people because of them color. Because them is of a different race. As a group of people, we don't use our power because we don't have it neither for rise up against somebody for deal with it. But we always find ourselves in that situation where people rise up against black people because of them color. And because you're black, them use them power for oppress you. That is racism. That is racism. And if I look on a man and say, why are you so white? I don't like you. That's not racism. That is not racism. That is a racial slur there. That is being racial. You say, why? You're prejudiced. You have people with prejudice. Yeah. I've said before, God is prejudiced. God don't like flat-nosed people. Like Brian. Yeah, that's a terrible thing. You laugh, you think a joke, you make it in the Bible. It's not the Bible that God don't like flat-nosed people. Terrible! Terrible. I never tell you about how God write it, you know. Them find a fossilized jawbone older than Denkenesh. For those of you who don't know what Denkenesh is, Denkenesh, or the English call her Lucy, is the oldest fossil up to this time that was found of any human being. And this was found in Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, the oldest fossil up to now of any human being. They call her Denkenesh or Lucy. Not Eve. Not Eve. So now, the scientists them, the archaeologists them find a bone, a jawbone of a human skeleton. And it is much older than Denkenesh. And guess which part them find that one, you know? No, it's not Jamaica, even though we didn't think that. My interest in this fossil, I want to know if it's a male or a female. I want to know if it's a male or a female. That is my interest in that fossil. Now, if Denkenesh was 3.5 million years old, and it is the fossil of a human being, what the hell have we been talking about in the story of Adam and Eve, when Africa, the birthplace of humanity and human beings, Africa holds the DNA and the genes of every human being on earth. So this fossil that them find is now the oldest human fossil that has been found. And it's the jawbone them find. And guess where them find it? Yeah, this fossil was found in Ethiopia. Yes. So now the two oldest fossils of any human beings was found in Ethiopia. We're going to go check it out and find out how old this fossil is supposed to be. But it lay waste a whole heap of illusion and mythologies that was placed in front of us. And it also give rise to the wonders of Africa. And as we say, if Lucy was 3.5 million year old, something is intrinsically wrong with how we get this Judaic Christian Bible that tell us that the only measurement we have is 6,000 year old. When them say Jericho, the oldest city on earth, is 10,000 year old. So even a city gone beyond the recorded history of the world when it come on to Judeo-Christian thinking. And when we know of, like, when we hear about dinosaurs and all these things, there's not like that recorded in the good book. Nothing. We hear about giants was up on the earth. And then we see a giant come rise up amongst David called Goliath. But maybe he must just start like maybe Usain Bolt or one of them basketball player, we don't know. But it's amazing. It's amazing. And then some people who want to say the scientific evidence can be wrong because how them know fi count how much year old this bone is. But I want to tell you, you can tell the age of a tree by the ring, the amount of ring with it on the trunk. I hope people never know that. Yeah, you can tell how old a tree is by the amount of ring on the trunk. Yes. We like how the moon set in the sky tonight. Yeah, when we drive come down, it's like the moon a fall away. And I see it over Irie FM. It's like the star over, hey, well, I tell you some illusion fall away though. Can you imagine 3 men supposed to have travel and them have followed the star? And when them reach, which part them a go? The star was right over a little barn where all heap of animal supposed to be. Them follow the star to this little barn. A star, you know. Well, maybe I could have said the same thing about the moon here right now. That the moon, I follow the moon. I never did follow the moon still, but it appeared to me that everywhere I turn, every third corner I make, I see the moon over the same place. So I don't know if the moon follow I go over there, and I don't know if you can see the same star at the same place continuously from a direction where you're there. For instance, the moon. I don't know if you could have travel and I follow the moon and see the moon in the same area. Because some people believe that the sun rise and sun go down, you know. That is a European logic that we can't get out of way. Sun rise and sun down means that the sun come up over the east and go down in the west. And people actually believe that. Say, in a 24 hours, the sun move from over St. Thomas and go over to Negril. And the way you're looking at the sky look like it's not a guan, but because there's no other approach, scientific approach to the explanation, people give it over to some superstition that only delves in what we call your belief. So people have a belief system that them use as knowledge. And it's supposed to carry them. So when we hear about the sun is like the four corners of the earth. It's a European logic that, you know. Because Europeans actually believe that the world is flat. So when they say the four corners of the world now, we who know better, we, the Dogons, we, the Tuareg people, we, the Kemetic people, come in at this part of the world and follow that irrational logics, like we know scientific, and we didn't know certain things before. The Dogon people who know about the astronomy and astrology, the Kemetic people who know about astronomy and astrology, and how them create and build buildings. These African people built buildings to line up with the celestial things in the sky. Line it up with it. And because a lot of people can't understand that there's black people who used to be that high in science, them put it over to some outer space extraterrestrial being that is doing these things. It's African people do it. It's African people, black people like me and you, who are most of you are listening now. It's we do it. But guess what now? Them lick it out away, so we don't even know how we do it. So all we know is we come on and slave and work plantation. And the nearest thing to Africa we have in our house is a Bible which tells us that Pharaoh was in Egypt and Pharaoh was a wicked man because he put the Israelites in a slavery. So we look on, we demonize Egypt in history. Black people demonize Egypt in history. So I'm look on a Pharaoh as an oppressor. So when him talk about Pharaoh, him say, yes, the wicked boy Pharaoh, him oppress we. Just like what we do with Babylon. Babylon was a great city in a Mesopotamia now called Iraq. And it's just the other day, George Bush realized where him go mash up the place. Him realized it was rotted. But at the same place him read about in the Bible, man, mash it up still because of them they persecute the Israelites. Babylon, all one of the 7 wonders of the world, or the 8th wonder of the world, which is 7 wonders still, but them call it the swinging garden of Babylon. That was made by black people. The swinging gardens of Babylon. But we take the side of the oppressor to oppress we ourselves. It's like the buffalo soldiers. The buffalo soldiers side with the white man to fight against the Native Americans. And I remember watching this story about the buffalo soldiers. And the Native American look on the buffalo soldier and say, yeah, but today you killing us. But the same man who you fight for, tomorrow I'm going to kill you. Yeah, man. The Native American look on him and say, today you kill us. But tomorrow the same man who you fighting for will kill you. So said, so done. They have been killing black people up to this day. Today, me I talk about. And who them can't kill, they make black people kill black people. It's a very twisted historical reference point we have for ourselves. Not understanding how twisted and irrational and illogical it is. That we who come from Africa see everything in Africa as poison. So when we create things, we don't know it's we created. Because if we had known the wonders and greatness of Africa, we wouldn't look at ourselves like how we look at ourselves now. But because we see ourselves through a European eye, as a slave, we live out that slavery mentality. A king can't see himself as a king, you know. And a slave will only see himself as a slave, especially when he's born in a slavery. If we were seen ourselves, if we see ourselves as the prince and princesses that come out of Ethiopia, we would have stretched forth our hand to Ethiopia. Because them is digging the soils and digging the soil to find out from whence cometh human beings. And if you can't explain it, you go and give it over to some supernatural being. So when the African them was building universities and all the other buildings them that we find and them find, the archaeologists them and the anthropologists them find in Africa, these people who were building these things will have high scientific knowledge. High scientific knowledge. From West Africa to East Africa. From North Africa to Southern Africa. These people showed a sensibility that has been lost in the fight and the need for white supremacy to flourish in this capitalist world. And we're glad so we can share certain things to the people then, because a sidewalk university we work with, you know, and we don't have no PhD and we don't have no masters and all them something there, you know, but guess what now? We can listen and we can read and we can disseminate intelligence and figure out certain things. So when you hear we attack, we not talk from now because we did go at this university go study that and this university go study that. We are Rasta. A Rastafari get we interested in all the things them where you hear we are say and I talk about on the radio. And we don't really want go into no subject where we can't get account of ourselves. Understand? So sometimes when people ask me to say certain things, I say, me don't really know nothing about that, you know. So me keep on the things them when me feel like me can manage myself. We know, say, there's certain subject where we not bother touch. And some people might have wonder, how come never your Muta said this and Muta said that yet? If you remind we still we can't talk about it, we talk about it, you know, but we now have to delve in a situations where we kind of look foolish. And obviously the two programs them never sound foolish to some professors and some students from Caribbean, them call them Caribbean, them have them thing in a university. It never sound foolish to them. So them willing to pay plane fare and pay this and pay that for come here we attack. The same thing where we talk on the continent. Anyway, you know, so we are celebrate 50 years of Haile Selassie visit to Jamaica. All people know who cares. Not all people are interested in that. But you have whole heap of thousands, if not millions of people all over the world interested because that visit validate Rastafari in Jamaica, almost. Yeah, that visit will I say validate Rastafari because that visit show the people and those who wanted to understand who is this man that Rastafari is talk about. I wonder if him real. Because you have some Rasta when I start to come here, them say I know him, you know. Yeah, because them did look for all a man with locks, catch him two and all them. Yeah. When them see them say, "Sure, Babylon send them brother there, you know." A serious thing they attack, you know. Because them did expect somebody who look like them. But the majority of Rasta in Jamaica and those who eventually became Rasta like myself, yeah, saw that move by Haile Selassie as a very, very important move because him didn't know about Rasta from before that. Because I remember saying him did have Rastafari brethren and brethren who went on expedition to Ethiopia and other parts of Africa to figure out and find out certain things. So he was quite aware. And Martin Plano, who was one of the Rastaman them who I had to sit down with personally and talk to. When I say personally, I mean like one-on-one and talk to. Them share certain reasoning. You understand? So it's not like Haile Selassie wasn't aware of I and I here before him come here. Him know about us long time, and him know what we was saying and how we view him. What we was saying and how we view him. And it continue to even when him visit us all and him see the man them. They have some life he tell to you know. But Haile Selassie, when him snoop and dirty Rasta them, him have to go back to the plane. Not go say no. Because it's not the first him see Laxman. Laxman they are Ethiopia like trouble. The Bataway people them, the Orthodox, no nonsense. Orthodox man them who lax and live up in the mountains of Ethiopia. Haile Selassie is quite aware of those people. Lax is not anti Jamaica Rasta. It's because it's we now go out there internationally and manifest this kind of cultural expression why people now say it's a Rasta thing. It's like me and my no shoes. I know me when a Jamaica no wear shoes. But it's just because me there in the front burner, so now everywhere me go man see me say, why I'm out and I wear shoes? A man start last time, some little illusion. Oh, the man that's whenever we go, the man have had some boots look like Elvis Presley boots. Like them I tell people about that, you know. But then again, what if me wear a boots like Elvis Presley shoes? Me never tell nobody say me never wear no shoes. Them just never see me like it, but me never tell nobody in the world say me would never wear a shoes. You understand? It's just that nobody ever see me that one yet. But that's not the point. The point is that Haile Selassie come to Jamaica in 1966 and validate Rastafari in a Jamaica. That when them all are gone and want him say, denounce Rastafari if they say him are the Almighty. Him never said, who am I to interfere with a man's faith? The words of Haile Selassie. Why should you? You can't question a man's faith. You understand? And it's not the first that has been placed upon Haile Selassie, or not at first that was placed upon any emperor in Ethiopia. It's not the first the people them look upon them emperor. This has been going on for ancient times, from the pharaohs and beyond. When man used to look upon the pharaohs and say them is God, elect of God, that all man in Europe, now as we mentioned last week, Caesar and all them man, they start make themselves God. And if you not bow down to them cut off your neck. Or throw you to the lion. So it's not a new thing, just like the locks. The locks is not a new thing amongst Rasta. Rasta is not the ones who create that expression of locks. You have some people in India named the Sadhus. Go look by your internet and find them. The Sadhus. If you ever see the Sadhus, them, you don't believe that some Rasta will say, I follow Rasta. But they're not following Rasta. Not because two things is similar, it means that one come from the other, you know. Not because two things are similar, it means one came from the other. You have people in Kenya, in the 50s, call themselves the Mama. And that is what give rise to a whole heap of locks in Jamaica. That group named the Mama, where them leaders was locks. In Nigeria, you have locks. Locks is not a unique thing. to Rasta. It's just that Rasta, what would I call it, popularize it, because they use it as the most visible cultural expression in the movement. So Haile Selassie, after so much years of Rastafari, 100 years of Rastafari, 50 years of the visit of the emperor, we're still there. I fight the fight for African people and the African race. We read out this thing again. We're going to make my dearly beloved brethren cross the glass that we're there with me. Roger Asphalt. Good night, Roger.
Good night, Muta.
You're a different level, you know. This is not sports business.
No, not at all.
All right. So, you know, I'm going to make Roger read something to the people, them. And what is it is all about? Haile Selassie and the titles that was given to Haile Selassie. Now, I don't know people, like in the royal, like when the royalty them have a ball and so them stand up at the door and them call the person them who enter. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Brian the Cartel, Alkaline, titles from this and that and that, and them go down the line and see the couple walk in. Ladies and gentlemen, Rastakura, Ras-ta-fa, and all the title them, and them come in. Well, now, me I tell you, what you're going to hear now is the titles of Haile Selassie. We're going to make as for concrete as far as read the titles and listen to these titles and tell me if this man here is not worthy to be praised. So, go night, brethren.
All right. So is Haile Selassie, the first King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of Judah, Light of this world, Elector of God, Emperor of Ethiopia, Defender of the Faith, Grand Cordon of the Order of Solomon, Knight Grand Cross of the Order of Solomon, Knight of the Garter, Knight Grand Cross of the Order of the Bath, Knight Grand Cross of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, Royal Victorian Chain, Field Marshal of the British Army, Doctor of Laws, Cambridge, Doctor of Civil Laws, Oxford, Grand Cross of the Order of the Legion of Honor, France, the Order of the Annunciation, Order of Italy, Order of the Merit of the Italian Republic, the Order of the Golden Lion, Luxembourg, the Order of the Seraphins, Sweden, the Order of the Elephant, Denmark, Grand Collar of Carlos III, Spain, the Order of the Savior, Greece, the Order of Leopold, Belgium, the Order of Suvronov, USSR, the Order of St. Olaf, Norway, Order of the Star, Yugoslavia, Order of the Aztec Eagle, Mexico, Order of the Republic, First Class, Sudan, Order of San Bastian Guilherme, Brazil, Order of the Loin of the Netherlands, Holland, First Class Military Order of the White Lion, Czechoslovakia, Order of the Military Merit, Federal Republic of Germany, Ribbon of the Grand Cross of the Order of Christ, St. James and Aziz, Portugal, Honorary Doctor of Laws awarded by the following universities: Athens, Greece, Banaras, India, Moscow, USSR, Charles, Czechoslovakia, Columbia, McGill, Michigan, Howard, Georgetown, all from the USA, University of the West Indies, Jamaica, Montreal, Laval, Canada. And Honorary Doctor of Agriculture, Bonn, Germany. Those are the titles of His Majesty.
First.
Yes.
How much title that? You count them? Count them, make me hear them there. Count them, go and count them, make me hear them. No, serious.
No, so you have 1,
count them, man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47.
47 different titles from different head of states. It's a serious thing. And then put him as, in Africa, the father of African unity.
He's also a founder of the Africa Cup of Nations.
As a sportsman, explain that to me.
Yes. In the early days of organized African football, Ethiopia was a big football country them time in Africa, and he helped to organize the first ever staging of the Africa Cup of Nations, what we now know as the Africa Cup of Nations, where countries like Nigeria and Ghana, Cameroon dominate now. Ethiopia in the first days
was the dominant football team.
Yes,
and then we also talk about him and Kwame Nkrumah setting up the Organization of African Unity.
Yes, yeah, the OAU them time now known as the AU.
AU, the African state them say him is the father of African unity.
Yes, and the headquarters remains in Addis Ababa to this day. Yeah.
So I feel that man is worthy to be praised. I don't know if you're next man.
Someone said to you.
Yeah, I think so that man is worthy to be praised because he's the most photographed head of state ever. What am I say? He's the most photographed head of state ever. I think that man is worthy to be praised. When I say praise, so I'm not about worship, you know.
Yeah, because, you know, a lot of people going to zoom in on that.
No, we're not the worship thing, you know. We're talking about praise. You understand? And we are say, praising Haile Selassie is not something that I am going to make other people's thinking that is embedded in Europeans' opinion. Tell me, say, I can't praise Haile Selassie, because Haile Selassie a man like me. Well, look at now. If you can't say where you call the good in your good in the next person, you're not going to see the good in you.
No, definitely.
So you have to see the good in the person to see the good in you. You have to see the good in you to see the good in the person. You know, see. So when we talk about Haile Selassie, it gone beyond religion. Because we are now putting the solidness of humanity and how humanity is supposed to stay in the persona and the personality of a human being.
And so respected was he that in his first visit to the United States, according to the information that you readily presented, as you know, when he traveled to USA the first time, he traveled by sea from France to New York. And 7 days prior to his arrival in the United States, anticipating his arrival, as because, you know, he was seen as the number one fighter for freedom in the world. 7 days before his arrival, the U.S. government, they disbanded racial discrimination in education in anticipation of his arrival.
Of his arrival,
yes, in 1954, 7 days prior to his arrival.
In the United States, the first visit to in the United States.
Right.
Yeah, so, very serious information in that book there.
Yeah,
very serious information.
Real. Yeah.
So we touched the Marcus and we touched Haile Selassie. This year is the 50th anniversary of the visit of Haile Selassie to Jamaica and the 100 years since Rastafari ascended the throne of Ethiopia and was not again called Rastafari, but Haile Selassie the first. We take on to that name more, Rastafari. Tafari mean one to be feared. Ras is a title in Ethiopia. Tafari mean one to be feared. So we say, Emperor Haile Selassie forever, and Emperor Haile Selassie is for I chapel.
Haile Selassie is the champion.
Tell you about the 50th anniversary of the visit of Haile Selassie to Jamaica. Rastafari, brethren and sisters, know this thing are very serious. Because you know, so when Jamaica 50th anniversary for independence, big things go on. But you know, say, Haile Selassie has made us as a people, Rasta people, very independent. We're so independent that we refuse to take bull from anybody who uphold and maintain the colonial masters' regime. We refuse to bow to Queen Elizabeth. We refuse to recognize the European standard of being. In the deepest realm of our consciousness, we develop a culture and an expression that is uniquely us, uniquely ours. We choose not to really mimic other things. Vanguard of the struggle for liberation for African people in this part of the world. Vanguard for reparation for African people in this part of the world. Vanguard for African people recognizing that your medicine is your food and your food must be your medicine. We don't live to eat. We eat to live. A vanguard. Yes. So we continue the journey and continue the struggle. Because we know say good must overcome evil. And no matter how much evil man create as reciprocation of good. Because good and evil is the creation of human being. There's no other creature, no other animal on earth that have good and evil represented in them being but human being. So we relate to the goodness of the human species, that animal, that creature that come out of Africa must find himself and herself in a place of understanding that will liberate and free him from Western imperialism and white supremacy. Marcus Garvey said, Africa for Africans, those at home and those abroad. He's not an African because you're born in Africa. He's African because Africa born in you. And when the child give up his mother to the dogs to be eaten, then the child will go wandering hither and thither and know not where to go and become slaves to his environment and its surrounding. African people have to wake up and understand the trauma that we have been placed in, and how that experience need to be dashed aside and relinquished. African people have to rise up and find them true self in history and in time. Because history decides your being now. History is not just something that you study. History is there to remind you of the things that you should do and should not do. History reminds you of things that you should do and should not do. And if you don't mark history and don't use history as your reference point, Marcus Garvey said, a people without a knowledge of them history is like a tree without root. What a tree without root is. So we have to wake up and find that root. The root is the history. Fruits don't bear upon tree that don't have no root. It have to have something there to nourish it. Eat air and water, flourish the root. We have to recognize the African being that we are as a people. We can't just go either and thither and make people put in our clothes where it's either tight down with self, or we just stop the pores from breed, or we just can't afford it. It is not conducive to our way of life. It's not conducive to our flesh, our DNA. But we allow them to put me in it. And we are like mimicking zombies. Just moving hither and thither and knowing that where we are going. That terrible thing.